DISEnsemble's entire semester.
You.
Hi, I'm Dr. P. What do you want? What? Day 14. Day 14? What do we do on day 14 again? I'm gonna be honest. Not a lot of interesting stuff happened on day 14. We just played some music. So you should probably just skip this. Click to the next video. Ignore this one. Move on with your life. Or we could talk about improvisation. So I said back on day 0.
DISEnsemble is actually an acronym which stands for Diverse Instrument Symphonic Ensemble.
That's actually the second acronym we've used. The original name stood for Destructive and Inventive Systems Ensemble, owing to our original mandate being that we would be a group that builds instruments via hardware hacking, engineering, software development. What are you doing there, Joe? Wrecking stuff. Zach, what are you doing?
Making tape loops.
Okay.
Cassette tape loops.
It's like a purple spark.
Don't electrocute yourself, Alex. Blah, 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 blah. This was a cool focus in theory, but very quickly I found out that while I'm interested in those things and I've got some experience doing them, it's not what I want to spend the rest of my career focusing on as a thing. And honestly, as DISEnsemble has progressed, it's become clear that the focus of the group should really be bigger than just hardware hacking and breaking stuff. Although breaking stuff is fun. I'm really satisfied with the new acronym,
Diverse Instrument Symphonic Ensemble.
but I think if we ever had to come up with another one, I think the I in DISEnsemble should stand for improvisation. These fries are amazing and traveling. This is Bojangles. We don't have this in Indianapolis. It's really good stuff. Improvisation has always been a focus of mine, and for a lot of reasons I feel quite strongly about, it's been a major side quest for DISEnsemble as well. Firstly, as I said back on day 7, there aren't a lot of groups like DISEnsemble, and therefore there's not an abundance of repertoire written for a group like this. Repertoire! By the way, if you're confused by my usage of the word repertoire just means pieces of music that already exist. Also, when I say a group like this, well, what does that even mean when you don't know what instruments are going to be in the ensemble next year? Crazy. How do you establish a canonical repertoire for a group of musicians that is constantly changing its method of instrumental expression? Well, one possible answer to that is to focus on improvisation, and to have the group itself actually create the repertoire that it needs. But this opens up another can of crickets in that the training of musicians in improvisation is, let's say, inconsistent. So here's how DISEnsemble approaches improvisation in a nutshell. I pair members of the group up so that each subgroup has a strong leader and some diversity of instruments, something like vocals, bass, drums, and sitar or something. Then the members spend some rehearsal time meeting separately, and they quickly workshop some kind of score which can be represented graphically so that they can disseminate that idea to the rest of the group.
With electronic music that is so...
It leaves a lot
there's
to
a lot
the
of
imagination,
room, yeah, there's
right?
a lot of room for interpretation. I was scared. I was really scared, but
I think you did well.
I think I did pretty good.
I don't know why people line up for flights so early. I mean, you're gonna just standing there for like an hour. Chill out, live a little. So wherever possible, I encourage DISEnsemble members to write pieces which logistically and graphically, at least in terms of their score, are in some way modeled on the repertoire we already perform. For instance, Nate Rowe's piece that we performed at Mock Sonic, Fear,
We begin with fear.
was actually modeled after Haden Cain's piece, Anxiety in the Creative Experience, which we performed back in 2022.
Talking to me? Or are you talking to me?
I'm talking to you.
Awesome. Okay. Hi, I'm Haden Cain. My first piece is Anxiety in the Creative Experience. It's actually a composition that's made of 9 different pieces that are mixed together to make one soup of a song.
Which was, in some ways, actually modeled after my own piece, Malkovri Veen, which we also performed at Moxon. Pieces like this have become the backbone of our performance practice. There's actually a simple maneuver I've developed for conducting pieces like this where I alert the group of a number which corresponds to a section or a measure on the score, and then I give a downbeat corresponding to the beginning of that chunk of material on the score. And usually it works best if we just sort of loop that material. It's a lot like how you would make music in Ableton Live if you think about it, in session. A lot of Michaela de Palmo's pieces adhere to this structure as well. Oh yeah, you might be wondering who Michaela is and why I keep bringing her up in these videos all the time. You don't want to be on the video? Talk about why you don't want to be on the video.
I just don't like videos of me.
Okay, well, what should I shoot instead? You can't move it, otherwise I'm going to see your face. You don't want to be in the video, you got to hold it right there.
Okay.
So Michaela, you've been a content creator for DISEnsemble for, what, 2 years?
Yes.
Until today, it was pretty good.
Till last week.
Until last week? Oh, what happened last week?
We fought.
We fought? I don't think we fought, did we?
We certainly did.
I gave you.
You yelled at me.
I didn't yell at you. I gave you a tough lesson. But you know, if I don't challenge you, then you're not learning anything, I think. So tell us about the pieces that you've written. You wrote a piece called Shoe Attack.
I did.
What's up with Shoe Attack?
I was forced to write it in 20 minutes.
That's very standard to my teaching style, yes.
And it was supposed to be everyone throws their shoe, but it turned into one person throws their shoe.
Everybody throwing their shoe ended up being way too much, so
and
we
someone might
downgraded.
get injured.
Yeah, we downgraded, so, for safety reasons. What's your major, by the way?
Oh, music therapy and psychology.
What do you think is the connection between music therapy and all this, all the stuff you're doing in that vein and DISEnsemble? Is there any connection to this?
I think to an extent there is. So a lot about music therapy is expressing yourself and helping the people you're serving express themselves. So I think DISEnsemble kind of forces me to express myself because I can't expect my clients to express themselves if I've never done that myself.
Right. So you might, as a music therapist down the line, you might have to actually do this yourself. Get them to, compose pieces in 20 minutes, right?
Yeah, I'll be Dr. P in the future.
Well, I mean, really, the idea of doing things really quickly kind of changes the parameter, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it changes how you think about it.
Write a piece in 20 minutes. That's improvisation. Improvisation.
It's bow time.
Michaela is actually a DISEnsemble content creator, otherwise known as a discontent creator. The DISEnsemble content creators are actually students who are in a separate section of DISEnsemble which meets one-on-one or in small groups once a week. These students work on projects which would be too slow, complicated, or time-consuming for us to pursue within a weekly rehearsal. So Michaela works on composing music for DISEnsemble while Melissa worked on ad hoc hacking and instrument development projects like the Squish controller, often used by Sarah.
It's pretty good. It's new and improved. It looks nice, very sleek. We thought we broke it a couple times, so we just kept it plugged in. We're like, okay, let's just check it.
And Rachel worked on things like her hacked toy piano MIDI controller thing. This is not the best way to play this, Rachel.
What do you mean? I don't want to
I hate to say it, but
actually prop it up.
yeah. My office is actually littered with these kinds of projects left behind by former students, like this one by Kayle Riley. Some of these items actually make it into regular circulation in performances, but some are short-lived experiments. Still more never see the light of day simply because they were exponents of a failed experiment. But that's okay, because if some of these experiments fail, getting some things wrong is not only what science is about, but it's also what improvisation is about.
This is kind of morbid, considering this is like a framed fish.
Back to improvisation. You may have been wondering where I'm going in all these travel videos. I'm here in rural Massachusetts, making music for, I guess you could call it a dance festival. It's actually a workshop I've been doing since around 2015 or so. It's called Michi, which stands for Movement Intensive and Compositional Improvisation. A lot of my ideas for DISEnsemble come from this place where I work with dancers and they're out on the floor and I'm sitting there behind my laptops and making sounds all for 9 hours a day. Good gracious, it's beautiful out here. I'm so lucky. So that's what I'm up to. I get to stay in this house. The architects are 5 artists. Kathy Couch, who's a visual artist but also a mover. Jennifer Kayle, Lisa Gonzales, Katherine Ferrier, and Pamela Vail. That's who I get to be with this week. Gracious, that's a big hill. I'm dying. Alright, I'm dead. And you're playing lead piano in a jug band's choir. You've got to come on up to the house. It's a good song by Tom Waits. You should check it out. Well, through my improvisation work with dancers like the Architects, I've learned that improvisation is less a musical or even an artistic practice, but it's actually something that can be kind of life-changing. Improvisational thinking and strategies can be useful for all manner of activities like cooking, improvisational teaching, improvisational YouTube editing, so on and so forth. With these life-changing benefits in mind, I encourage my students to improvise all the time. And not just in DISEnsemble, but all my classes. And that's what we spent most of day 14 doing, putting our improvisational brains to the test while we tried out some new graphic scores written by members of the group. Another thing I've picked up from my friends the Architects is actually not using the word improv in this work. Improv is actually a theater improvisation technique, and we're trying to distance ourselves from that technique. Not that there's anything wrong with that technique, just that that's not what we're doing. Can't really remember what day we had spent writing graphic scores in little groups. Might have been day 2, might have been day 4, I don't know. But since then, I had collated these ideas and made copies so that everyone could join in. Now, one of the most successful pieces, which we ended up playing a couple of times that semester, was called Death by Evil, which was written by Drew, Chloe, Lincoln, Ryan, and Will. I like this piece so much because it was simple, yet it neatly organized all of the various performative agents in a way that was quite direct and clear, and yet also left a ton of room for choices to be made by the ensemble members performing it. The original score of this piece was hastily written on paper, but I made a new version, which I think became the standardized edition. I can't remember all the pieces we wrote that day, but 2 other successful pieces were one by Tochi and Toby. That one was called Massive Melodies. And there was another one which was just a completely bonkers score by Moses and I think Andrew. Seriously, that one was so weird. On one page of the score, they just copied the Chick-fil-A logo off of a bag they got from takeout, but it's not a joke. I mean, there's some serious stuff in here. I mean, as an artist, I'm into some pretty weird stuff, obviously. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this, but this one kind of freaked me out. I was like, I don't even know what this is. Also, I don't think I have a copy of this anymore. I think all the copies of this just kind of self-immolated or something. I don't know. It was just too weird for this world. But in the midst of this, I was talking to Moses and Andrew, and they were saying, what is this piece about? And they said they really want to just push everybody outside their boundaries and, have people do different things. And in the midst of this, I said, everybody just switch to a different instrument.
ah, you know. So everybody switched to a different instrument. Literally everybody in the room decided to do something different. So I actually grabbed the camera and Ross got up to conduct this piece. So this is the third conductor DISEnsemble's ever had, all in 3 weeks. It's crazy. So everybody in the room was doing something different. Crazy.
Drums, when you're ready.
Scott, have you ever played the drums? I like that. My drummer switched to the bass player.
I don't know why we always have to end with screaming. It's just fun.
How did today go? I thought
it was a challenging day.
Yeah.
You know, we did some deep work. You know, it's like, you know, the muscles are like, you know, painful. You know,
they're sore, but we're working out.
Yeah, we're working out some kinks. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like we did some good stuff today.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily fun, but it was like we kind of got someplace.
It was also interesting to see everyone play the different instruments.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you watched the Drew, but he was like hitting the bass like it was a percussion instrument.
Yeah.
So
You know,
that's
it's
fun.
interesting. Yeah. Should be interesting.
I'm a weirdo.
What the hell am I doing?
How do you feel about today? Sorry, this is so
Amped up. Yeah, I came in here with an afternoon slump, to be honest, but I feel like that revitalized me, you know. I'm sorry, I just can't stop looking at the googly eye rock.
How do you feel about your piece being played, yours and Drew's?
Our piece, I feel all right. You know,
I thought it was cool.
Yeah,
I liked
thank
it.
you. I thought it'd be better if I could hear me a lot more.
After you asked him to turn you up, it was cool.
Oh, thank you. My goodness. Yeah, we our only idea for that piece was it was going to be in G minor. Just a good start.
Good start.
Glad I'm finally being noticed around here in this organization. It's about time.
You're still young. You've got some time to.
I'm not as young as I look.
Hey, excuse me, guys.
Go out of the way.
I'm pretty camera shy, so. Pretty camera shy.
It's not up to me. It's not my schedule. It's not my career.
Right.
Whatever.
All right, well, I'll do my best.
Almost
so.
died.
You know, and yes.
Yes.
Hello.
Oh, I feel pretty good. I thought it went really well. It was very different than how I expected it to sound, but in a great way.
I
But
thought
it was
really
super cool. Yeah. It's a lot more ambient. I thought it would be a little bit more active, but I liked that it was kind of ambient.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool. Yeah. Fair enough.
How do you feel?
Okay.
I got to be Melissa
was so
today
sweet.
again, so it was great. It was everything I've ever wanted.
Who else should I talk to?
Me.
Okay.
What's my deal? What's my motivation in this scene?
Your question to answer.
I have to go to another rehearsal now.
For the dancers?
Yeah.
You know, I think they could fit in here.
No, it's not that. It's a big cluster. I'm over this semester. It's not been ideal.
Me too, but like I don't want it to end because I don't want to be done.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it because I'll start crying right now.
Oh, you're crying! She's crying! On camera, even.
I'll go talk to him.
Ross's conducting was
He'll end the
kind of the big deal of the day. I think.
It was really good. I got so much of it.
I
I got the two of them
I was
together.
Gonna say I didn't like it, but that's just. All right, Ross, we're ending with you.
You remember when everyone had a numbered table?
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
Those are the days.
How do you feel conducting? Was that your first time?
Oh, first time. Man, what can I say? I'm a natural. But, you know, I just try to take after Dr. P, do a lot of this stuff. Yeah, so.
I conducted last week. You missed it.
Oh, how was it? Did you do a lot of that stuff?
Not really.
But yeah, man, future's bright.
Rehearsal, I don't know, 14, 13?
A lot of them.
Done. And...
Thank you. Have a good night. 3 days, I think, of intense music making with dancers. Oh my goodness, where am I going? Baggage claim 6. There we are. So back here in Indianapolis. Maybe in the end, this experience didn't change anybody's life in a huge way. Judging by the look on his face, I don't think Ross is really gonna take up conducting. And that's fine. Being an artist is all about. It's about going someplace, doing something cool, and coming back home.
Daddy! Daddy!